Are you okay?
I don't know.
Okay, did you call the police yet?
Yeah, I did.
I'm gonna call an advocate and you can tell us both at the same time, okay?
Hey, Sarah, your dad told me that you need help.
So, is there anything that I need to do? Or...
Just focus on getting better.
With an advocate on your side, you're never alone.
Today's the day. And look who I just met.
Hey, Dad.
You deserve a worry-free recovery. You deserve an advocate.
This is the Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find the Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, the Monty Show, live on Wednesday.
Yeah.
2 days after St. Patrick's Day, March 19th, 2025. As always, we are presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. And folks, I can only tell you, if you live in Utah, I'm sorry. It's winter. Spring has not sprung. Summer is never arriving. We are buried in snow. The roads are frozen in ice, and my life is miserable.
Right.
If you happen to get into an accident because people in their Subarus drive like idiots, call the Advocates. Okay. Nothing on that?
Nope.
Just admit that you are tired of winter. Just admit.
Oh, I am.
That I am
rolling out of the crib at 4:50 this morning, and I pull onto the road and it's Crunchville because it's frozen roads and it's terrible, bro.
So the ever slimming Mrs. Monty and I, we weigh in on Wednesday mornings now. So we wake up, we weigh in on Wednesday morning. We're downstairs and we can hear some traffic outside only because the road is crunchy.
Yeah.
The road is crunchy. Just back up.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm over it. I'm over it. If you have been injured by the winter, make sure you call the Advocates at theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business. The best part is you never reach into your pocket to pay the Advocates because you don't pay the Advocates unless and until they win your case, no matter where you are. If you are in San Diego, Seattle, Vegas, Phoenix, certainly all my great Phoenicians, we'll see you this weekend for Chicago Cubs baseball. They're currently getting waxed by the Gambler in Tokyo. Cubs are losing 6-3. Might want to, swing at something other than a ball in the dirt. All my friends in Phoenix, the Advocates are there. No matter where you're listening to this show, you can get to theadvocates.com and talk to one of the best injury attorneys in the business. Bar none, and it won't cost you a dime, 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. North Carolina won last night.
They're vindicated. They're
vindicated. Everybody said the exact same thing. North Carolina. Yeah, exactly right. My guy, RJ Davis, had him on Prize Picks last night. Screw you, Steph Curry, who decided not to play last night. James Larden didn't come through for me. Took an L last night. But RJ Davis was a 15.5-point number. I took more. He came through with 26. Your boy don't get shut out on Prize Picks. I'm telling you, this does not change anything. North Carolina shouldn't have been in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I thought that they clearly came out with a point to prove defensively. I thought, and San Diego State isn't some elite team this year, but I thought that North Carolina, you could see, came into that game looking to kind of prove a point.
Chewy Gonzalez wants to know, were we more wrong about San Diego State and their pro rata or UNC? I was not wrong about San Diego State. They were a bubble team. The Mountain West was incredibly tough this year. And San Diego State was on the outside looking in. I don't think we were at all wrong about North Carolina. And listen, if you are West Virginia, I don't know, is Mountain Mama here? I told you I have a lot of energy, you guys. How about the fact that West Virginia not only didn't get into the NCAA tournament, West Virginia lost their coach. And Indiana is so willing to hire Darian DeVries from West Virginia that they're not only going to pay his buyout at West Virginia, They're going to pay his buyout at his former university, Drake, where he came to West Virginia. He left Drake. Who are you, Kendrick? He left Drake to go to West Virginia. West Virginia paid a buyout at Drake. So now Indiana's going to pay the buyout at West Virginia and the buyout at Drake and all costs associated with hiring Darian DeVries.
What is this negative car equity we're working with here? Like, what are we doing?
What do you drive, a Tesla or itself into a wall? I mean, this was not a good couple of days for West Virginia. Let's call it what it is. This was not a good couple of days for the folks who clean coal. This was
not good.
You guys should probably not be college basketball fans anymore. Everybody's a fan of Lopes fan Gabe. Woo! Other hand. There you go.
There you go.
Lopes up, Gabe. Gives 10 Monty Show memberships. Appreciate that very much. Don't forget, you can always join the membership. It's only $2 a month. All your comments get read. We are at a point now, because guys like Lopes fan Gabe are amazing, that we pretty much only have bandwidth to read member comments. And it's not that you're not smart. Well, I mean, if you're not a member, you're not all that intelligent. Because it does, and it's been scientifically proven that when you take the Monty Show membership, it's much like hydroxychloroquine, your IQ goes up. So
hydroxychloroquine,
scientifically proven.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I mean, I don't know how we disagree with that.
Biologics,
So Darling Deb, OJ Raider, Will Vandenberg, Bizzle T Productions.
Oh, Vandenberg.
Ho-ho! Lance Johnson, Marcus, Andrew, Dij.
Dij. Nice name.
Did you mean Doge?
Doge.
Good to see you, Elon. Anyway, appreciate all of you becoming members. Lopes fan Gabe, a long time on this show. Appreciate you, buddy. Good to see you as always. Let's see. Who's the first one? Oh, there he is. Mountain Mama. West Virginia lost its head coach to Indiana. The real Pete Forte, Aztecs got routed. Ugly. Yeah, they lost to another non-tournament team. Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Lopes fan Gabe, hit the like button. Yes, please hit the like button. Yes, I know. Mike, who was DMing me on TikTok yesterday, you're not very good at YouTube, Monty. You got to tell people, hit the like button. He put it in all capital letters, hit ... the ... like ... button. I get it.
We get it.
Jay McClanahan, how are you? Matt Ritson, good morning to you. Mike Smith, that advocate's lawyer looks like a creeper. That's Mark Stewart, and he is one of the best
he's a good
dudes
dude.
on
What
the
are you talking
planet.
about, bro? He's a good dude.
And when you get in a car accident, bro, I'm telling you. High is predicted to be 77 today.
Yeah, what it must be like, dude. Yeah, our commute weather this morning was 24 degrees and crunchy.
I'm so over it. And listen, if you didn't have hurricanes and flooding, I'd probably live in Jupe.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Dude, I don't go outside ever. Right? Like if I could live anywhere, it'd probably be Florida. But all the hurricanes in the water, I'm good. Okay.
And the sweating,
California can't afford it. Like, it's so frustrating. It is so frustrating. West Virginia got raw dogged, but at least we got the buyout covered.
Bro, are you in your feels this morning?
Macaque.
There is a chance we get the current Drake coach. Hurdy is one of the possible candidates. Yeah, more buyout money.
Will Wade.
Higher Will Wade. Higher Will Wade. Higher Will Wade.
I win.
The stadium guy, James. Guys. Hey, guys. Did you know that here in Texas, we have more Buc-ee's per capita than IPFs? And that's saying something. You should move to Texas. It's 65 degrees here.
In the ops building, or?
You also have a flippin' weirdo for a governor. So I like women's rights, can't do it. That awkward guy we're going to talk about, UTSA basketball taking down Texas. I don't know what you mean. Who's going to get in the comments? Who's going to win the NCAA tournament? Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? I'm very interested. Eric Wasikowski, now an Indiana Hoosiers fan. Okay, in honor of Gene Hackman, whose dead wife called called a hospital after she died
multiple times.
Pretty
twice.
interesting. Using a cell phone from the afterlife. Never heard of it. Were the Hackmans murdered?
I mean, something happened.
There's some folks out there saying that the Hackmans were murdered. I don't think I believe that. I don't think so. Let's see. Love you guys from New Hampshire. Corey Hamill. Appreciate you in New Hampshire. You know, hello from Raleigh. Core D.
Core
Stay hard.
D.
Somehow I don't.
Where do you come up with core D?
The cock.
Yeah.
I understand that that's like a euphemism and stuff.
We don't core anybody on this show.
Macaque.
You know, it's clear. It clearly says baseball, not basketball. Okay. Hello, Sergeant Green. Good to see you. You guys, love everybody. Appreciate it. Stadium Guy James. Houston will win the big dance this year. Okay. Duke. Houston, baby. Duke. I have Houston winning too.
I think we all do.
You know. Okay. It was the only option. It's short for my name.
Okay, so hold on. Let's review.
Wait a
You're
minute.
saying that core D is your only option for a name?
They wouldn't let you put dickhead in there?
Macaque.
Man, I mean, you guys make it so easy, dude.
Come on, it was a joke.
It was a joke. Don't get all pissed. It's okay. Like, it's fine.
We all know that your D stands for Devonshire. I don't know. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Maryland winning. Okay. James, Kyle Tucker, NL MVP. Yeah, that RBI walk he had was something else.
Just scintillating, dude.
Let me tell you.
Boy.
Is Utah State basketball head coach good in your opinion? He is very good.
Yeah.
He is very good. Donna says, morning, Minty and Jack. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Dina. Nice to see you, Doina, Martha.
Are we getting excited to the move to afternoons?
I'm trying.
Yeah. Are we getting excited? Dina and Cordy and all you people here.
So I'm taking a golf lesson last night. And people are like, BYU's taking down VCU. I'm like, bro. Okay. I'm warning you.
I took VCU in the bracket I did because of you. So you better come through.
Alex Jensen going to bring some life to Utah basketball. I agree. I think he's got a really good shot to energize that program. So I'm very excited for the afternoon show. We appreciate that, Dana. We are excited too. Probably March 31st. I don't know. We have to figure that out. We said April 1st, but that's a Tuesday.
Yeah. I mean,
we're going to have to figure that out. And we're also on vacation that week. So the end of that week, we go to Chicago and hit golf balls at Wrigley Field. Seriously. Wait till you see some of the golf content coming. Boys, I'll tell you about it after later and stuff. But yeah, cannot wait. Going to Phoenix this weekend. We're off on Friday and Monday. Going to Phoenix this weekend where it's actually going to be sunny, and I'm not sure what the word worm. What I don't know.
And pardon me,
it's pronounced warm. Like there's whatever that bright light in the sky is. Apparently, it's always on in Phoenix. We don't know anything about that here in the great state of Utah, where we're not a food town in any way, shape, or form. All right. Wait, you did what? I had to Google Core D to see if it was short for something crazy. Don't get me started. I am easily distracted by the D, and it is,
I want more.
What is wrong with you? You say stuff like that, and you're like, dude, I don't know, man. What
are you going to put more package pictures on the screen?
You know how much I love the D. I mean, I love the D.
Yeah.
I'm all in on the D.
I mean, it is what it is, dude. I don't know what to tell you, man.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Is it possible that they could ride the D?
You could. I mean, you just got to get stroked. That's what this.
I mean, that's
dude.
that's,
Did you get the new get stroke drop
I did not.
from Wyndham? Oh my
Not
God!
yet, no.
You guys, Wyndham Clark. At some point, Jake will do his job. Probably not. The Wyndham Clark got to get stroked bomb is unbelievable.
You got to get stroked.
It's
You just have to start stroking guys.
Yeah, I was frustrated while I was getting stroked. It is one of the greatest bombs ever. Ever. Okay, let's reset.
Stay hard.
Exactly. All right, let's start the show off with a Monty Show exclusive. We tell you all the time that the phone rings and you never know who's on the other end. And yesterday, a very well-placed source at UNLV called me and really was pretty adamant that we were fully incorrect about the situation at UNLV. And the narrative that UNLV is broke and that UNLV can't afford to pay coaches and that UNLV is somehow unable to financially compete in sports. And it's not often you talk to somebody that is well-placed at a university and is very close to the situation, understands things going on. Phone rang yesterday, late in the afternoon, talking to this person who's close at UNLV who said straight up, you need to stop saying we're broke because we are not broke. And it's a very interesting situation at UNLV. You know that their athletic director told the Board of Regents that they did not have cash on hand to pay their football coach, Dan Mullen in this case, the balance of his contract. They didn't fire him. The point was, hey, we have 2 years. After that, we don't have the cash on hand, or at least that's what was spun. I was told yesterday by a source very close to UNLV that this conversation centers around the UNLV system providing enough financial support to athletics to compete at a high level. That's what the conversation about Dan Mullen's contract was centered around. I am told, and take it with a grain of salt, because when you get lit up on a phone conversation, and it was a pretty passionate conversation, it's hard for me to just say, okay, well, this person at UNLV who I've known now for a pretty good amount of time is just being dishonest, because this person's never been dishonest with me in the past. And they were absolutely passionate. In no way, shape, or form is UNLV broke. In no way, shape, or form is their athletic department the word that was used, insolvent. It's simply what was described to me as a tug of war between athletics and administration about the current ecosystem in college sports, where you have an athletic department fighting to get more money from the administration, and the administration saying, we're not sure we want to do that. Either way you slice it, money's an issue at UNLV. And Jake, I think it's hard to spin it that financially UNLV is counting their pennies.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's no question that, at a minimum, no matter who you ask, this source, people in the industry, UNLV and every other institution is going to count every single penny and is going to have a super detailed accounting of where they're at money wise. And like I said yesterday, it's one of these deals where whether you are or you aren't, the conversation is ongoing. Whether you are broke or you're not broke. And again, I don't agree that we ever said UNLV was just broke and insolvent and can't afford to do anything. That's not. I have never explicitly said that. No. What I said yesterday was the perception is that UNLV may have a money problem. That's what we talked about yesterday. And you can go back. It's all on YouTube. I encourage you to go listen to it. But I do think that this conversation around how do you compete at a really high level in collegiate athletics, especially when you're in a G5 situation, I think is a really pertinent one. I mean, if you're UNLV, let's understand how the conversation has evolved over the last 6 months. I mean, there was a time, not what are we at the end of March here? In December, I think it was, where people were like, "Hey, UNLV is going to go to the Pac-2. They're going to get this money grab and they're going to try and figure it out." And then that conversation evolved and people started to understand, well, hey, maybe the Pac-12, Pac-2 situation isn't actually a money grab. Maybe there's actually more risk in that situation for UNLV than there would be in their current situation. And so that conversation kind of slowed down and lost some steam. And now this whole Dan Mullen, money situation popped up. And I think it just caught fire because of everything going on between the Mountain West and the Pac-12, and UNLV finds itself right in the middle of that. So yeah, I do think that UNLV counts every single penny, as they should. I'm not criticizing them for that, but what I am saying is that at some point you have to have your ducks in a row on your messaging, because it's not an accident that you're talking about money and we're getting all this reporting about your AAD saying that you didn't have enough money, but now we're correcting that. So again, I'm not saying that UNLV is broke. That's never been my point. That's never been the accusation. The reality of the situation, though, is that when your AD comes out and says, hey, or allegedly says to the board, hey, we don't have enough money to pay Dan Mullen's contract for the whole 5-year term, and then that gets reported and everyone's talking about it. Well, the reality is, the perception is, hey, maybe UNLV has a money problem. So I'm not surprised that we got a call and UNLV is trying to set this record straight, because there is a difference between being, air quotes, broke, which again, we never said, but there is a difference between being that and wanting to compete at the highest level. And I think that whether it's Memphis, UNLV, Boise State, all of these schools that are at the G5 level share that plight in life, where they need to find a way to compete at the highest level possible so they can make the most money possible.
Well, and it's very interesting. If you read Eric Harper's bio on the UNLV website, which I was pointed to by this source, there is an interesting paragraph there that I think you should ingest, because I agree. We've never said UNLV is broke. And I think UNLV has a messaging problem. They're not in control of their narrative. And one of the things that I think is very interesting is that in this paragraph, and I know this is really small and I apologize, I'll read it to you. In his first 2.5 years on the job, Harper has effected significant change under his leadership. A new strategic plan was announced in September of 2022 that is aimed at helping deliver a premier student-athlete experience in college athletics and providing Rebels the opportunity to succeed as students, athletes, and into the future as well-rounded community leaders. In alignment with the broader UNLV Top Tier 2.0 strategic plan, the athletic department worked in tandem with the university to develop a clear strategy for achieving athletic and academic excellence. And my source at UNLV says that the administration has let the athletic department down, that putting Eric Harper, who seems to be well respected in Las Vegas, putting Eric Harper in this position has damaged UNLV athletics. And I think one of the things that's so interesting is that when you go and you look at where UNLV is, it would not appear, and this is my opinion, it would not appear in any way, shape, or form. The administration at UNLV is doing everything possible to make sure that athletes in the athletic departments that they compete in are thriving. And I think that is the biggest issue. And when you look at what this Top Tier 2.0 program, if you will, or initiative at UNLV is made of, and I think this is a really interesting point. And I did not until 2 weeks ago even know about this top tier program. But look at what the core tenets of this top tier program are. Student achievement, research, scholarship, and creative activity, academic health, socioeconomic development, community partnerships, social justice, equity, and inclusion. Right? So this is, from the university's perspective, okay, this is what we are focused on. And student achievement is supposed to include UNLV athletics.
Right.
And I would say right now, it does not include UNLV athletics. And I think it is it is very interesting to me that there seems to be a divide between the administration and the athletic department at UNLV, which is exactly why we're in this position.
Mm-hmm.
So as you hit the like button here on the Monty Show, I think this is the single biggest conversation that we're having now, is that I think when you have the kind of money that we are talking about, this is not unique to UNLV. This goes back to our time covering the meltdown of the Pac-12 when we had, athletic departments in the PNW calling us and screaming at us, and J.D. Wicker hanging up on us and all this stuff. Because when administrators and athletic administrators are not in lockstep, bad things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the AD wind up in front of the Board of Regents saying, we can't afford to pay our coach, which actually was, hey, we need more money from you so our athletic department can operate at the level that's required by our very own program. And I would agree. I don't think UNLV is broke.
No.
But under any circumstance, I think they absolutely have an issue with the way that they are communicating and working together from an athletic department to an administration department. Yeah,
and you see that bore out in the media, and I'm sure it's frustrating, right? I mean, obviously, we're not the only ones talking about this, and I think that it's a thing where there's been a run here where it just hasn't been great for. Excuse me.
Ooh,
sorry.
Be well.
It hasn't been great for UNLV, right? We had the Sluka situation in NIL, and a lot of people speculated about that. And then on the heels of that, now we have a conversation about whether athletics and administration is on the same page. And I think that's the trouble, is that it looks like UNLV right now, it has two sort of camps trying to work together. The camp in the athletic department that's saying, hey, if you want us to compete at a really high level, we're going to need more funding. We need more gas in the tank to be able to go and do these things. And it appears that administration is not on the same page. And so, it does beg the question, if it truly was initially was a conversation about, hey, we just need more money to compete at a higher level, why, Eric Harper would go and say that about Dan Mullen's contract and all of that. That's what a lot of people have a question about. My whole point in this thing is, either way, the overreaching conversation is more that UNLV finds itself in the middle of a conversation at a conference level where you've got these two conferences that are battling, and inside of that, UNLV has to find a way to be successful at the school level, and you don't just randomly turn into a successful athletic department. I think Dan Mullen was a great hire. I think he can do great things in the football program, but whether you're in the SEC or the Mountain West or the ACC or the Big 10 or the Big 12, right, or the American, you got to have enough money to go out and get talent. And so I do think that UNLV needs to work hard to correct its image on the NIL side in football, number one. And then number two, they need to do some winning, right? Correct your NIL, go out and compete again for the conference, because you can't tell me Boise State's just going to, rinse and repeat again after losing Ginty and the turnover they've had. So the conference there's going to be opportunity there.
Well, listen, Dan Mullen and his awkward hugging wife have got to be a success at UNLV.
Yeah.
You should go look at Dan Mullen's wife hugging Florida players.
Dan Mullen, wife, Florida.
Yeah, but again, I point to this because you're talking about this top tier 2.0 thing at UNLV. And after digging into it last night, I just don't see that it's a success. Because if this really is student achievement, research, scholarship, creativity, my belief is, after reading their hey, it's a 10-page PowerPoint presentation, this is all about driving enrollment, fostering an environment where your students can achieve, and bringing the community of Las Vegas, Nevada, and Clark County to UNLV. And what's the best way to do that? Why is this in the biography of UNLV's athletic director? Because athletics plays a really foundational part of that. And if you're not going to fund athletics to the point where they can do that, what is the point of having athletics?
Yeah.
So the Sluka thing, I asked this particular person about the Sluka thing. There were a lot of, it was explained to me that the Sluka situation at UNLV had a lot of chefs trying to make the stew, and that there was not a high level of communication and expectations were not properly set. I don't expect UNLV to tell anybody that it was their fault, and I don't know that it was. In fact, I actually have never thought it was fully on them. But it's, again, perception versus reality. It doesn't matter whose fault it is. It's your fault.
Yeah.
It is your fault. But one thing that I also want to touch on that was unequivocal, UNLV, according to my, and now multiple sources have told us this, UNLV remains committed to the Mountain West. They do not, at this time, I was told point blank last night, we have no intention of going to the Pac-12. That's not currently on our radar unless something significantly changes, which, what did Dr. Ed Scott from Memphis tell us? Pretty much the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Unless something significant changes. I was told that UNLV has not talked to the Pac-12 in a number of months, that there have not been conversations. So UNLV, multiple sources at UNLV are telling me they remain committed to the Mountain West, and that they remain committed to building an atmosphere where their athletes have everything they need to thrive. And I think Will Wade is in play at UNLV. I truly do. My source last night didn't want to talk about it, if we're being honest. Like, just straight, like,
Yeah.
it was one of the more intriguing conversations I've ever had about the fire and brimstone of we are not broke and people need to stop saying that. And we need to do a better job of communicating that.
Right.
And I think you're going to see messaging and the way that messaging happens at UNLV change significantly. Because I think UNLV cannot afford to continue to let it be thought that they are broke and that they don't pay kids their NIL money. Because that's what the perception is right now.
Yeah.
I don't believe that's reality at UNLV.
Nope.
I think UNLV, listen, this year, I was straight up told, can UNLV afford to pay for lawsuits? Maybe, but they're not going to. They're not in a place where their first priority is to pay lawyers to sue the Mountain West.
Yeah.
To get out of grant of rights, to get out of commitments that they've made to the Mountain West. When the Mountain West has made significant commitments to Las Vegas and UNLV. So, unless something astronomical happens, and the money goes up significantly, it does not seem to be a good idea for UNLV to leave the Mountain West and the money it would cost them. I think you need to stop talking about the Pac-12 in Las Vegas, and you need to start focusing on doing a much better job of keeping your house in order.
Yes. That's the thing that stands out. I mean, you got to get
absolutely,
university president, athletic director, head coaches, all, that we see at the really successful schools, right? The schools that are always in the conversation, always driving athletic revenue, like Ohio State as an example, whoever you want to point to. You don't really hear about ADs stepping on a line and saying this or that. Like, you don't really hear about that. And I think that's where, again, at the G5 level, we know this to be true about human beings. Humans are going to disagree, right? Administrators are going to disagree about philosophy and how they, should be
100%.
going about things. And
everybody's got an opinion.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks their opinion's the best opinion.
Yeah. And so it's no surprise that we run into this issue in college athletics. But again, I would agree that it's not factually accurate to say that UNLV is broke, but I do think it's accurate to say that.
How would you describe UNLV in from what you know? You're privy to all these conversations.
Yeah.
From what you know, how would you describe UNLV financially?
Yeah, I mean, from what I know, I would describe UNLV financially as solid. I think that UNLV and specifically Eric Harper have aspirations of competing at a much higher level. Whether you want to look at football or basketball, I think there's no question that, from the information we have, it's very clear that they have aspirations at just as an example, being, a tournament team every year that is capable of making, a deeper run. and getting those tournament shares that we've talked so much about. So I think on the basketball side, that would be one. And then on the football side, I think you don't hire Dan Mullen to lose. You hire Dan Mullen to go out and build your program and to try to be what Boise State was last year, to try to get into that, that single slot in the college football playoff. But again, this brings us right back to, okay, in order to do that though, again, it seems like Eric Harper and Dan Mullen and, whoever the basketball coach is going to be are all on the same page. Now you got to get, the administration on the same page. So I think they're fine financially. I think they're solid, but there's a difference between being solid and paying the bills and thriving and going out and taking a run at making an Elite Eight or getting into the college football playoff or whatever. Like, that's two different scenarios.
I think Eric Harper has done a very good job.
Yeah.
A good job. A very good job might be strong. UNLV football is competitive. UNLV football is no longer playing
They were in those games with Boise State.
Yes. Yeah. But they're no longer playing in they're no longer playing in a Dust Bowl that nobody wants to go and see.
Yeah.
UNLV is playing at Allegiant Stadium. I had kind of an interesting conversation about that. I think we talked about it on the show several weeks ago. UNLV and Allegiant isn't a financial boom for UNLV, but it's a very necessary venue for them. I think that UNLV and Eric Harper's singular job is to hire Will Wade and flip that basketball department around.
Yeah.
You now have got to compete at the top of that conference every year. UNLV, and I don't know, maybe I'm making too much out of it. UNLV to me is one of those teams that should be in the tournament every single year.
Oh, and I think it goes without saying, if you were to hire Will Wade, obviously, when you talk about Eric Harper doing a good job, Eric Harper's got to keep Will Wade within the limits of recruiting and NIL.
All right, let's get your comments here on the Monty Show. Is UNLV on your radar? Is UNLV significant? Do you believe UNLV is broke? I am telling you, I've never said that. I don't believe UNLV is broke. I think their money, every penny has to go further. Every dollar has to mean more. And, one other thing in this conversation last night, UNLV does not get casino money, at least not at a high level. UNLV does not. It's very interesting that everybody in Las Vegas wants to tell you, well, we're getting the casino money. They're not getting the casino money.
No.
UNLV is not. Thomas and Mack Center is very interesting because it makes UNLV money. That building, that complex makes UNLV money. Because don't forget, the NBA also is in Las Vegas every summer. So, but UNLV is not getting significant resources from the casinos. And I think that is a very important line to make. Eric Wasikowski, the dude can't fit his whole name, but somehow I can.
What are we talking about?
I think this is a Core D reference.
Oh.
But yeah, it could be. See, Core D, you show up here with a name like Core D and all hell breaks loose. Wasikowski, Army's name would be Alphabet. Okay. I like it. Hi, Monty. Who won the Cubs-Dodger game?
Well, Chewy, it was nice knowing you. Really nice knowing you, dude.
Listen, if the Cubs are going to continue to put guys on base in front of show me the money and the spread, please.
E-base, buddy.
Hey, the great gambler.
Right.
If they're going to continue to put guys on in front of him. Now, Shohei's got a solo bomb tonight in Tokyo. He's got a solo home run. Cubs are trailing 6-3 in the ninth. It's
cashless.
It's fine. Sergeant Moorhew. Gonna miss the morning show. You guys help my shift fly by. I'll be reduced to your reruns. Won't stop me from getting my minty fix.
Yes.
Exactly. Minty fresh.
Right.
Illumindersky. Hello, my friend. I missed a few shows. Is there a Monty Show tourney challenge going? There's not. And everybody's asked me to do one.
Bracketology money.
Yeah, take it. See ya.
Should we do one? I don't want to do one. I'll be honest. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Am I just
play prize picks? Don't do a bracket challenge.
That's what I always say. Let's do a prize picks challenge.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do a prize picks challenge. You deposit $5 in a new Prize Picks account. They'll give you 50 more. I was just talking to the guys at Prize Picks yesterday. We have one of the most robust promo codes on the West Coast. We really appreciate that, you guys. Use the promo code Monty. Download the Prize Picks app. I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to do daily Prize Picks contests in the NCAA tournament. To which I told you yesterday, RJ Davis and North Carolina.
Whoa, would never do I told you.
I told you so Wednesday. The singular best team in the country, North Carolina basketball.
Right. An obvious tournament team.
Second only to West Virginia. I told you RJ Davis yesterday. I'm pretty good at Prize Picks. Jake is horrendous.
Garbo.
Maybe on a daily basis, we give away...
Because it's garbage.
I don't know. Maybe we do $100 or we could do $500. Maybe we give away a $500 Amazon gift card great. Here's Craig Counsell arguing with the umpire already. Go back in the dugout, you stick.
Go back to Milwaukee.
Jerk off. Anyway.
And kick a person when he's down.
Dude, it's the second game of the year and I'm out on the Cubs already.
Yeah, they're terrible, dude.
Garbo. Hey,
Makes
look,
it's
Pages, not Pages on second base for the Doyers.
Roll me over.
And the Dodgers roll into a double play to end the inning. Let's go. Cubs get out of it. The great gambler does not score. Going to the ninth, 6-3. Cubs trailing. We're going to lose. Top of the order, Hap, Ichiro, and Tucker coming up. You know, that great signing Tucker is going to save the world. Not. I would be happy to do that if you guys want to do a I'd do a $500 Prize Picks Final Four. Maybe that's what we should do. You want to do that? Like give away $500 to a Final Four prize pick. Whoever wins the most on Prize Picks during the Final Four wins $500 on the show, an Amazon gift card for $500.
Yeah. Yeah, got to have proof.
Well, yeah, you got to have screenshots.
Yeah.
Or I'm open to it. Nothing like your favorite team giving you a case of the Tourette's, dude.
Yeah.
Please.
My fucking ass.
Did not realize I had to go through it's Corey Hamill now.
Oh, it's not Core D anymore?
That's disappointing.
Or is Corey Hamill different than Core D?
Yeah. UNLV is 100% on the radar. I would agree with that. UNLV should be a sleeping giant. Who are you, Utah Tech?
Whatever.
I would love it if TCU and Oak State had a home-and-home with UNLV. The away game at UNLV is basically a mini vacation for the fans. A lot of people say that. UNLV should be a sleeping giant, yes. Tommy Edman could have an MVP season with the Doyers. Doyers. He's a good ball player. I hate the Dodgers. Hi, Chewy. Are you a Los Angeles fan in general? Are you at least a Lakers fan? Please. Wade would be a good hire at UNLV, but I wouldn't mind Stacey Augmon as well. You need somebody proven. LOL, pimp down, pimp in distress. Oh my God. Bray B from Twitter. And get on X, by the way. The Monty Show, Monty, The Monty Show. We're on Twitter. We broadcast the show live on, or I keep saying Twitter. We broadcast the show live on Tesla every single day. It's a Tesla. It's cashless. Anyway, we broadcast the show live on X every single day. Make sure you get over there. If you guys want to watch on X, please, don't. Watch on YouTube. I think this is why we just had an administrative change. The power behind the scenes are stepping up to finally fix the long-term power struggles which have chronically plagued UNLV and the Nevada education system. This is why there will be a new president soon. The adults are now in charge. And I think it's hugely important.
Yeah.
Bray, I think it's hugely important.
Oh, nice job, Bray. Good take.
Mike Smith, it's hard out there for a pimp, said the UNLV AD. Okay. Mile High. Look, man, I'm just out here trying to win basketball games with pimp going pimp. Mike is awake this morning. Good morning. No, good morning to you, Mile High Phil. I think more institutions are having these discussions. It's not just UNLV. The academic side in a lot of universities fight the athletic side for the money because enrollment is one of the most critical metrics in all of college cash.
It's
right?
the lifeblood of every school.
If you don't have, not to be the master of the obvious, if you don't have kids attending your school, you don't have tuition. You don't get research money. You don't get, did you guys see Utah yesterday? Again, you probably didn't. They got a huge medical endowment again. So they got a women's sports endowment. Now they got a medical endowment. Like, you have to have that kind of support. And I think at UNLV, when the messaging is, hey, we're broke, we can't pay coaches, that's bad for Will Wade, that's bad for recruits, that's bad for the university, enrollment, like across the board, it's the wrong message to put out into the ethos.
Yeah.
Because that's forever going to be, oh, Dan Mullen's not getting paid. Dan Mullen's getting paid.
Yeah.
Kevin Kruger's getting paid. Not to coach, but he's getting paid. I just think that UNLV, at some point, you hope you get it right. Mr. Ed Wayner, too bad Indiana is not looking for a football coach and buy out Dan Mullen. There you go. There you go. You guys this morning, this is probably my fault. The old Greg, I don't nut when the show starts. I don't nut when the snow starts this morning. I got the mental illness. Oops, let's bake and wake. That's a reference from yesterday when I said I don't understand people who wake up and their first thing is not, oh man, I gotta take that morning pee. No, it's, let me hit that bong. Where's my lighter? Or I was watching a TikTok video the other day, and this guy has found all kinds of interesting ways to toke his bong. Like, he's got a blowtorch, then he's got a hand torch, then he used a match and burned his finger. Like, are we really this far into it?
Yeah.
Hey, also, by the way, for all you weed smokers, did you guys see that people who regularly use marijuana, smoke marijuana under the age of 30, have 6 times the chance of heart failure as those who do not? Just saying. I'm just saying. It is what it be. So
Corey is this
Hamill,
Core D or is Corey Hamill different?
Stay hard. Is this Corey Hamill Core D? Is that what it is? You know, that's what I'm saying. Mike Smith, how many news sites or papers have come out with the same lame loss of productivity in the workplace due to March Madness brackets? Seriously. I think it's a thing. Sergeant Moorhue, we need more college kickoff in Vegas. The USC LSU game was insane.
Yes.
You guys remember that last fall? Was insane. Corey D now, Corrie.
Oh, okay. So now it's not Core D, it's Corey D.
Core Chaos this morning. I changed it to Corey D. I have a public job in my town. I like to be able to relax when I'm on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So you're just,
So you're kind of a big deal in your town.
So you get on YouTube and you just ride the D is what you're saying.
That's right. That's right, dude.
Is it possible that they could ride the D?
And, you got to.
What town are you from?
And stuff.
Yeah.
Seth Hatmaker. Seth, who makes hats. There is a silence on UNLV joining the Pac-12 since the announcement. Who saw that coming? Well, there is that. Wake and Bake comment on. Wake and Bake was definitely a thing in college.
Big Wake and Bake guy, huh?
Oh my God, Cypress Hill. Mike Smith just referenced Cypress Hill. Now I got Cypress Hill song stuck in my head. Corey D, you guys are terrible. The worst.
Dude,
we are the worst.
What, we're terrible? Your name was Core D, and then you changed it to Corey's D.
Hey, what are you coring with that D?
Yeah.
Oh!
Is it possible that they could ride the D?
Like, what am I supposed to do with this, bro?
Productivity in March. Is that even English? I don't understand. Tomorrow is one of the least productive days of the year for people in the office.
Yeah.
Will you guys get tomorrow? Really is the opening day of the NCAA tournament, regardless of how screwed West Virginia got last night by North Carolina. Do you guys in your life, are you less productive on the opening day of the tournament?
Yes.
How are you not?
Yeah. Should we bring like 10 TVs into the office and, have
We
like
probably
8
should.
games on all the TVs,
Oh, look, Jeremiah Champion. No, good morning to you, sir. Seth, who makes hats. Mike Smith, I used AI to help my bracket. Compared chat with field goal percentage. I got Florida and Duke in the final.
Hey, Duke is Duke.
You know what? But it's interesting, Seth. Do you trust? Ooh, did he get it? Did he get it? Get up! Oh, of course he didn't get it. Of course he didn't get it. Yeah, let's trot in the second base. Why would you want to run hard, you dirtbag?
Lover boy.
PCA with a double off the Oppo double off the left. Or no, that's Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, that's that washed up scrub Kyle Tucker.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
The 1-year rental who doesn't run hard, apparently.
Yeah.
POS. I'm kidding. Cubs trailing 6-3, 2 outs, bottom in the 9th, but at least we got a double on the books, right? You know.
Yeah.
I admittedly am.
Oh, here's your favorite player. This is Redbeard.
Fire crotch up at the plate.
Yeah.
Justin Turner, the Cubs' new third baseman, the sensation. The COVID king with the Dodgers.
The COVID king.
Good Lord.
The coronavirus.
Rock and rant. Maybe I just forgot, but I still don't get why UNLV was either not invited to the Pac-12 with the first group or chose not to go with the first group. They weren't invited the first time out and couldn't make the money work. I shouldn't say they weren't invited. They were never officially invited. UNLV, according to our sources, had very serious conversations with the Pac-12, but did not want to become part of a lawsuit. Did not want to sue for poaching fees. Did not want to sue to get out of their exit fees. And I think UNLV took a wait-and-see approach, wisely as they should. AI used for brackets, kind of wild. It is kind of wild. Rick Forrester, hookers and cocaine, you can't go wrong in Vegas.
Duh.
Okay.
Cocaine and hookers, my friend.
Cover your kids' ears. Why do people frequent hookers? I still to this day do not understand that.
No, but I will with your wife.
Right? And maybe admittedly, I'm a really good looking guy. Just ask your wife. I would never even consider that. I would never even consider it. A joint or dab in the morning is king on the weekends, of course.
Okay, Wake and Bake King. That's your new YouTube name, bro. Wake and Bake King.
Chewy, I live in Salt Lake City and support anything Utes, Lakers, and Doyers. Utah pro sports is a joke. You got to spend money to make money in pro sports. Easy.
Whoa, as Mike Smith, refers to Ryan Smith as hairline, is going to spend money and turn the organization around.
Hey, check it out. Fire crotch got on base. First and second, tying run at the dish now for the Cubs.
2 outs.
This is going to be a roll me over force out to end the game.
And he will every single time.
The Hawaiian golfer, my wife knows that these first 4 days of the tournament that I'm dead to the world. I'm hanging in the basement with 4 screens going, and I'm at the sports book just enjoying the overstimulation.
I mean, if that's what we're calling it now.
Got to go to the sports book at Aria. Got to go to the sports book at Aria. But I'm going to a game tomorrow, so I'll see less basketball than usual, okay? It's going to be that type of show today. Hit the like button. Exactly right.
Yeah, it is.
Cam Harrison, a long time. Hello. Dude that abides. Okay, hang on. So our star, the actual future of third base, is up at the plate for the Cubs. And this has an opportunity, which is why it won't happen.
Right.
Our number one organizational prospect right now is at the plate. He is 23 years old, and he got his first major league hit today. Matt Shaw. The Cubs' number one prospect, Matt Shaw, is at the plate. And he rolls me over. Is he going to beat it? Is he going to beat it? Yes, he beat it.
Nah, he didn't beat that.
What?
He didn't beat that. No, he didn't beat that. Nope.
They're going to review it. You better review it. You better review this. Yes, Craig Counsell. No, he's not going to review it. God damn.
Nah, he's out. It's all over.
Cubs are 0-2.
Only 160 games to go.
$160 days of pain straight ahead for us Cubs fans. Last in the division. Anyway, Seth, who makes hats, is an Astro fan. Okay, moving on.
Next comment.
Smiles and glory holes.
Yeah, that's what the Cubs are, dude. That is what the Cubs are, man.
Smiles and glory holes.
And I'm just going to say this. How do the Cubs not have pitching? Our supposed best pitcher, Justin Steele.
Allegedly.
Seth, who makes hats. As an Astro fan, I would have thought Bregman and Tucker leaving was the end of H-Town. Was the end, but H-Town has picked up some talent. And how is Bregman not a Chicago Cub? Well, because we couldn't get Bregman, we went with Justin Turner, who nobody wanted. Okay. Makes sense.
Seems legit.
The Mary J is why I left Michigan. Smell it 24/7 up there. I can't stand that. I really do hate it. I really, really do hate it. Drives me crazy. Jeremiah Champion, I'm the king of champions over here. Okay, I like it. Go Stros, never. Rick Forrester, goodbye, going back to sleep. Okay, Rick. You know, just like the Bears, they got your hopes up during the offseason. No, the Cubs did not. The Cubs have signed nobody. The Cubs quite literally have signed nobody. Nobody. Jeremiah says, Rockies. I don't think they'll ever win enough games. No, they probably will not.
Nah.
They probably will not. The frustrating part for me is, like, North Carolina is a perfect example. You knew what was going to happen last night.
Yeah.
You knew that because I'm a North Carolina fan, they had no business being in the tournament, that they were going to dominate San Diego State last night, and they did. I told you when I picked RJ and Prize Picks last night, kid's going to dominate. Where was that team all season? Well, they weren't playing San Diego State. The ACC was arguably the worst P4 conference in the country this year.
Yeah.
And you didn't even qualify for the tournament. You had to be gifted a spot. That's the thing that's what makes me, it's so hard right now for me to be a sports fan. The Cubs are going to be terrible. The Bears are not good right now, even though I think we've had arguably one of the best off seasons.
But you have a reason to watch.
Yes. The Blackhawks are putrid.
Yeah. The Bulls, don't even get us started.
Notre Dame, we were never winning that game. Right? Well, like, what do I have to hold on to? As an NBA fan, I'm a fan of the Lakers. LeBron hurts his D. LeGroin hurt himself. So I can't be a Bulls fan, so I'm a Laker fan, and so then LeBron gets hurt.
Well, dude, you've got, Mr. Second Floor guy, right?
My name is Luca.
Look, Luka Doncic has not been great for the Lakers. Luka Doncic has not been great for the Lakers. So, but like, at least if you're an Alabama State fan this morning, you're out of your mind. It's amazing, right? It's just frustrating. That's where I'm at in sports. I know I talk about this a lot. I have almost nothing to root for in sports. The Cubs are going to be bad because the Ricketts family is one of the worst ownership groups in sports.
Okay, how's Chelsea doing? Chelsea good?
Yeah, I'm good. I think we're still top 4. I'm a Chelsea football fan. We're very young. Thankfully, the Ricketts did not wind up buying that team.
Yeah.
But I can just tell you that even like Chelsea Football Club should be one of the unquestioned powerhouses of world football. We're not. Right now, Chelsea is 5th.
Okay, not bad at all.
On 49 points behind Nottingham Forest. So let me get this right. Nottingham Forest, in the same amount of games, has outpointed you. And your goal differential is better than theirs, but that's my life. And we lost to Arsenal this weekend. 1-0 because we can't score goals. I just don't know. I don't know what
seems legit.
I don't know how you explain it. And now coming up on the 3rd, because why would we ever want to play games? April 3rd, we have Tottenham. So what is that? 3 weeks from now or something like that? 2 weeks?
Yeah.
It just is what it is. Another member brought up streaming from Wrigley weeks back. I say go full Chi-Town, Al's Beef, Geno's, and Rush Street. Maybe we'll do some lives from Wrigley Field. We definitely will have a ton of content when we're in Chicago. So you guys may not know this, but PXG is partnered with a company called Upper Deck Golf. Upper Deck Golf is putting on events across the country at huge stadiums. Wrigley Field is the 9th, I think, or the 10th. We're gonna be there, and we're gonna play golf at Wrigley Field. We're gonna have a video on that. We'll have all kinds of videos from Chicago. Follow us on Instagram, SLC Jake on Instagram, The Monty Show on Instagram. We'll be live on Twitter. I'm certain we'll be, when we're playing golf in Chicago, we'll be live. We'll show you what we'll absolutely show you. Oak State James for $5. Yes, Matt is right. Oak State won its first round game in the NIT. I'm hoping they have to play SMU in the round 2 so I can go to it. Well, there you go. You know,
how's the book coming along?
Yeah, how's the pedo priest book coming along? You know, let's hear about that. Noel Ramirez, I heard MLS is regretting that Apple deal. No, you don't
what?
say. Nobody is watching. Nobody is going to pay. MLS is just not on the radar, dude. It's tough. Boyd Lake, Luka Tubbs Doncic can hold the Lakers together. Monty.
Fat.
Here's a question for Mavs fans. Does Anthony Davis ever play another game for the Mavericks?
No.
I don't think he does.
I'd move him.
I don't think he does. So, Tigers are looking good, Monty. Probably. I had nothing to do with Jeremiah's comment. Okay.
What did Jeremiah comment?
I don't know. Chewy Gonzalez, are the Steelers moving on from Aaron? Funny you bring that up. Hour number 2 of the Monty Show, presented by our good friends at Prize Picks, prizepicks.com. Download the app in your wherever you get your apps from. America's
Apple Store, obviously.
America's favorite daily fantasy game is Prize Picks. You guys, it's fantastic. Okay, so do you guys want a $500 Final Four contest on Prize Picks? Let's do it. I'm here for it. The bracket thing is so played out.
Yeah.
The bracket thing is so played out. I say, nah, bruh. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the promo code Monty to open up a new Prize Picks account. You deposit $5. So in this bracket challenge, deposit $5. They'll give you 50 more instantly. And let's compete for the Final Four.
We got to put some rules around this, though, right? So, like, you know, what's the minimum picks? Like 3 picks, 4 picks? Like, what do you got?
I think we do. I think, do we do who wins the most on Prize Picks? Maybe it's an elimination. You guys, you do a $5 deposit at a new Prize Picks account. You're entered to win. You make 3 selections on a flex play. Maybe it's a survivor thing. If you take my advice on Prize Picks, flex play 3 selections. That means you only need 2 of 3 to win. Like my prize pick for tomorrow, Johnny Broom, first round, is half a point. For Auburn's Johnny Broom, half a point. I took more. So if he scores a single point, you win. I have RJ Davis from last night, who already won, and then Jacoby Coles from GCU, Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
For less than 21.5 points. 2 of 3. It's that simple. Tonight, I love the NBA tonight. There's a couple that really stand out to me. I think, boy, in points, rebounds, and assists. That's the category I like to play in the NBA, points, rebounds, and assists. I think
Paolo Banchero, 38.5 is kind of a gimme.
But it's Houston. I don't think that's a gimme against Houston. You think that's a gimme?
Yeah, he had 56 against Minnesota.
Yeah, I never take Jake's advice. You guys, you're asking to get Core D if you take his advice.
Core D.
I think Klay Thompson 23.5. I think you got to go less. I think Ashore Thompson for Detroit. I think you got to go more than 15.5. Or less than 15.5. He's only hit that once in his last 5 games. And it's against the Heat. I would probably go less on that. Cade Cunningham, 40.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
Mm-hmm.
Against Miami. He hit on Washington twice, but missed on Portland, OKC, and New Orleans. I think I'm going to go less on Cade there.
Right.
And then I think you have to look at, Zion Williamson against Minnesota is a good one. There's so many tonight. It's so difficult. Zion's playing excellent basketball.
Uh-huh.
I think Shaedon Sharpe against Memphis. There's a lot of good ones. If I got to pick one, I think I'm probably going Austin Reeves 36.5 against Denver. That's a huge number, but I'm going more.
I went Banchero more than 38.5.
It's because you're dumb.
Mike Conley less than 14.5, and Campaign less than 12.5.
All right, I got Paolo Banchero more than 38.5, Cade Cunningham less than 39.5, and Austin Reeves more than 36.5.
There you go.
That's my NBA Prize Picks tonight. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the promo code Monty to open up a new Prize Picks account. You deposit $5, they'll give you 50 more instantly. Noel Ramirez, I don't want money. I want a chance to box Jake at least 2 rounds. Okay. Some of us choose anger. Jeremiah Champion, haha, Survivor Monty Show edition. Exactly right. Okay, now here's the question. Ferris Khan is commenting. Do I read a Ferris Khan comment this morning?
Check YouTube real quick. Has he already been filtered? Real quick. Has he been filtered yet?
No, but one of the bots got filtered. I can see that.
Okay. So Ferris hasn't been filtered yet.
He's not been filtered.
Okay, so what do you think? You're the comment guy.
Eric Wasikowski, if we do a Final Four and I win, I want Monty to put on a MAGA hat. Well, I want to lose 100 pounds in 15 minutes, but that's probably not going to happen either. So, Okay, Ferris, I went to San Diego FC's second match. Professional organization. The stadium is amazing for a place that holds 25K. I hung out in the supporter section for a while. Nice chats, drumming, and smoke. Okay, so you're here for all the smoke. Fat Jesus. Monty Fight Club. Nah, man.
Monty.
I'm not here for the red assery. The Stadium Guy James, if you really want to know, my outline for the book is done, and it's about clergy misconduct in all churches.
Well.
Okay. Oak State James. Oak State James is legitimately writing a book about. I think you are a. I think James is a bus driver in Stillwater. He drives. I don't even know what's the bus line called. He drives for Greyhound in Stillwater as his career.
That's not true.
But he also hunts pedophile priests with Zach Bagans from Ghost Hunters. James hunts the souls of dead pedophile priests, and he's writing a book about it.
What the fuck are you, Ranger Rick?
Exactly. Monty is not a zombie minion. No red hat or triangle truck for him. No.
Nah.
No. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. There you go.
Okay.
Illumindursky, whoa. Comment dump. This boomer will have to figure out Prize Picks. You should. Download the app. Just search Prize Picks. It's super easy.
Yeah, it's fun too.
What happens in Fight Club stays in Fight Club.
That's right.
Have you seen the movie Fight Club?
Yes.
You have?
I have.
Okay. I like it. All right. Let's switch gears and talk about the Steelers waiting for Aaron Rodgers, because there's a pretty amazing bite today from Cam Hayward, who is still a stud, right? I think we all agree on that. But Cam Hayward ain't wanting to wait no mo. Cam Hayward's tired of Aaron Rodgers.
So if they called you and were like, we need you to follow him into the darkness for a couple days, he says if you come down there with him, he's signing. Are you going to be off the grid for a little bit, go to the darkness and try to get this guy? We need you. You're our best recruiter. I'm about to get to Darius Slay, and it sounds like you recruited him too. So we need you to start recruiting. Get that NIL bag out like you did at Ohio State.
I ain't doing that or darkness retreat. I don't need any of that crap. Like, either you want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler or you don't. That's simple. That's the pitch. Like, if you want me to recruit, that's the recruiting pitch. You know, Pittsburgh Steelers. If you want to be part of it, so be it. If you don't, no skin on my back.
Is he tired of Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Roche. Do you guys buy that he's tired? Do you think he's burned out?
I don't know that he's burned out more than it's just, he's not gonna, he's not gonna beg someone to come play for the Steelers. I think I would agree with Cam Hayward that, you're either someone who really appreciates the Steelers organization and wants to be a part of that, or you're not. Like, that's just what it is. And I agree. That's the pitch. Like, you either want to be part of this or you don't, and let's move along.
I'm tired of the Aaron Rodgers story. If Aaron Rodgers hasn't, in my opinion, it's Wednesday. If by Friday at 5:00, Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to be a Steeler or doesn't know he wants to be a Steeler, suck it. I'm out. Russ, come on back. I'll find somebody else.
Right.
Like, I'm sure somebody will trade Danny Dimes.
Yeah.
I don't care. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to be the starting quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, or if I have to twist his arm, it's time to move on. The problem is, who are you going to move on to? Who are you going to move on to? I don't think there's anybody else to move on to. I really don't. And if you're the Steelers, you put yourself in this position by letting Justin Fields go to the Jets and by allowing Russell Wilson to go out and shop himself. Because if you bring Russ back, you're going to have to pay him, right? And I think everybody agrees Russell Wilson is kind of soft, and not guy he maybe never was. So I think they're locked in Aaron Wilson, or into Aaron Wilson. Aaron Rodgers. See, I conflated the two.
Yeah.
And stuff. I think they're locked into Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I just think that this concept from Cam Hayward, that's the pitch, that you either want to be a Steeler or you don't, and we're not going to wait around for you all day, is perfect. Like, I think that's how it should be. Like, there's this whole concept of, hey, we're an organization, we're just going to wait around forever for Aaron Rodgers, and we're going to be at his behest, sends the message that Aaron Rodgers is in control. And I just don't think for the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers is in control. I think for the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers is an option, probably their best option. And for Aaron Rodgers, the Steelers are just another team. And if you're the Steelers, you can't afford, I don't think, to sit around and placate to Aaron Rodgers. I think that the Steelers need to be definitive in their decision making, and I think that you have, I can't remember the guy's name. There were reports out that a DB for the Steelers, a younger guy, tweeted that Aaron Rodgers needs to go back to the retirement home. There was a recently deleted tweet out of their secondary from a guy doing that. So there's no question the Steelers locker room is not exactly just like head over heels for the Aaron Rodgers circus to roll into town. But I think that there's no doubt that for the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers is their best option. He's the guy that gives them the best chance. But again, I don't know that guys have a real high threshold for putting up with his BS. And that's the hard part here. And that's why I was not surprised that this was Cam's take, that, hey, we're not going to just sit around and wait. We're not going to sit around and placate.
But I also think this is a quarterback league. And frankly, I think it's a mistake for the Minnesota Vikings to say they're out on Aaron Rodgers. NFL Network reported yesterday the Vikings are moving forward with J.J. McCarthy. And immediately the Vikings got hammered for it, which you understand because J.J. McCarthy is not an NFL quarterback. I think he was in the building 15 minutes and was out for the year. There's a lot of questions about, and listen, I think KO in Minnesota is one of the best quarterback developers in the NFL.
Yeah.
So if JJ is going to make it, it'll largely be because of Kevin. But I look at the Steelers. That's the only place for Aaron Rodgers. If you don't want to be a Steeler, I 100% agree with Cam Hayward on this. If you don't want to be a Steeler, and if you don't know you want to be a Steeler already, what are we even doing? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Right? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? I think it is incredibly disrespectful. If we get to Friday and Aaron hasn't signed, I would move on. I would absolutely move on. There is no question about that.
And I just don't know what Aaron's waiting for. That's what I don't understand from his side. Like, I understand.
Yeah,
that,
I don't know.
Sure, it's an option to wait, but I don't know why are you taking your time with this? Again, I think that Aaron Rodgers just assumes everybody in the room values him. And I'm telling you, you're not getting away from being a 41-year-old quarterback who has, who had an Achilles injury, but played well last year. And people have questions. Like, I don't think that that's just like a gimme that everybody in the league is all about you, bro. And it surprises me that Aaron is not head over heels to get this deal done.
And maybe he is, and we just don't know. And they're talking behind the scenes. Could be, but wouldn't that have been?
Yeah,
wouldn't that have been out there, right? Noel Ramirez, like Kanye said, no man should have all that power. We need to stop giving Kanye, or excuse me, Ye, air to breathe. What that guy is doing, I feel bad that mental health is ravaging that man. It better be mental health, because the things that cat has said and done, good Lord. Did you guys see the Kardashian Kanye text messages that were leaked? Where he is like threatening her, and my God. Oh my God, Jake's seen a movie. Last movie you watched. Exactly.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Noel Ramirez, hell no, you'll probably wake up in a tub full of ice with a gash on your stomach. Okay, I don't know what that's a reference to.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I'm just saying. We're quoting Kanye now for doses of wisdom. I love it. We shouldn't. We really shouldn't. Sergeant Green, Rodgers signing with the Browns instead of the Steelers would be hilarious. That'd be very Aaron. Actually, I don't think it would be, but Chewy, if Aaron jumps off the bridge, will you jump off a bridge? I mean, I think now you got to put a stop in.
Yeah, you got to put a clock on him.
Because the quarterback market's running out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like there are quarterbacks all over.
And again,
the place.
You've invested heavily in the wide receiver room now.
I think if you look at, which is why the situation with Kirk Cousins in Atlanta is so surprising. If you look at the NFL free agents left, there's not a whole lot out there. I mean, if we're being honest, and you look at, again, you spent $150 million on DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
Are you really telling me you're going to bring back? You're not. Come on. You're not bringing back Russell Wilson when you spent $150 million on DK. That you would never do that. Why would you do that? I can't understand.
Well, because
and
I think he's the best contingency plan. I mean, you didn't make a move for Sam. You're running out of time with Aaron, and there's not really another great option out there. I mean, I don't have any problem with them letting Justin Fields go to the Jets. I really don't have an issue with that. I more have an issue with, you got to be definitive in which direction you're heading now with the quarterback room. Like as an organization, you need to say, okay, hey, Aaron, just as an example, you've got till 5:00 on Friday. If not, we're moving on. And then move on. You can't leave this to question.
Yeah. And I would also remind you that Russ is 36 years old. So, but there aren't a whole lot of quarterbacks out there just begging for jobs. I mean, most of them are signed. And just trying to figure out who even the options are. I don't even know who another option would be.
Yeah.
At this point,
you would have to make a trade of some kind,
I mean, Jameis is going to be 31. He'd probably be the best remaining quarterback. But can you imagine Jameis Winston being the starting quarterback of the Steelers?
Can't do that, dude.
How is that? He's a backup. How is that possible that he could be that? Like, there are no top 100 quarterbacks left, in my opinion. And I think it is a real problem that you don't have an alternative to Aaron Rodgers. And here we are spending another offseason talking about like Aaron and looking at like, I cannot even imagine. Like when I look at who's left in the free agent market, Aaron Rodgers is probably the best available free agent, right? I mean, what do you think the chances he retires are?
Not high. I think he wants to finish on a much more positive note.
I don't think he will retire. I don't think that's even on his radar. I think he wants to win a Super Bowl. Are you going to the Giants or are you going to the Steelers?
Yeah, which again is why I'm like, hey, why are we dragging our feet? What are we doing here?
Yeah,
you know,
there's nothing to even talk about, man. I'm telling you right now, there is nothing to even talk about. I'll be very interested to see where he goes and when it happens. How long are you willing to wait for Aaron Rodgers?
The end of this week. I'm with you. The end of this week is how long I'd be willing to wait. There are some people speculating that Aaron Rodgers, has till the draft. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm not going to sit here and wait till the draft to get something done with you. I want to get it done, and then I want to formulate a plan for the draft so that we can be successful.
Can you imagine if Mason Rudolph is the starting quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers? I can't even imagine that, man. Like, and I'm being serious. Can you guys imagine a place where Mason Rudolph with this? And I don't mean to belabor the point, but you spent $150 million to trade for DK Metcalf, and Mason Rudolph is going to be your starting quarterback. That you can't do it. You can't do it. And I just don't see a way that this changes. And
yeah, I don't think that these guys, the Steelers are just, they find themselves in a precarious situation. It is what it is, right? I mean, this is the market this year.
It is what it is.
There's nothing else that they can do. And again, let's not forget, the Steelers are a defense-first organization. They always have been, always will be. So, again, the concept is, hey, we're going to have a really stout defense, and we're trying to make the best of it on offense. So if it's DK Metcalf and company with Mason Rudolph at quarterback, we're going to try to find a way to make that work for the short being. And then, maybe the next cycle we go out and get our guy.
Yeah. You could be right. Noel Ramirez for $5. Thank you for the tips. You guys, all the money you tip us on this show goes right into infrastructure. It goes right into equipment. We're having the wall rewrapped. That's $2,500. It's all that kind of stuff. When you guys hit us on the tip jar, that really makes a difference. So we appreciate that. I was talking about them going with Aaron on his darkness retreat. Can you imagine that? Hey, listen, Jake, we know that you are a, who's the worst team in the NFL?
Jacksonville.
We know you're a Deshaun Watson fan. Deshaun wants to sign with the Jacksonville Jaguars, but we're going to need you to go alongside him to massages and hold his washcloth. And that way he'll sign with Jacksonville.
I don't know. I don't know if I don't quite know how to answer that, to be honest.
So are you down? You would absolutely do it.
No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, you are.
No.
Yeah, you are.
No.
You are too. You are too.
And there's nothing you can do to me to make me do it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Let's see. Mike Smith, get them to watch the In-Betweeners or Sex Education funny British comedies. Indeed. But your generation just doesn't, you guys don't understand what Eddie Murphy Raw is.
Eddie Murphy Raw?
Exactly right.
Bro.
You don't understand.
Bro.
Good, historically good content. He doesn't
Raw.
get it. He doesn't get it. I never thought I'd see a dark hole and Aaron Rodgers used in the same sentence. Funny.
Macaque.
Ask Olivia Munn about dark holes. Jalen Milroe to Pitt. You need a quarterback who can throw.
Yeah.
The Jets. That's exactly right. Zachy Poo's former team. As a Steeler fan, I don't know how I feel about Aaron. I think if you get Aaron Rodgers, you're a Super Bowl contender right now. Great defense, deep offense, need a running back. Line's good, Aaron's good, wide receivers are elite. If Aaron Rodgers is starting quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, they are better than the Baltimore Ravens. Tell me I'm wrong. What?
I can't agree with that, dude.
Okay,
they need to prove that. They have to prove that. This is again, we're so sure that the Steelers are just going to roll out and be a great team with Aaron Rodgers. On paper, sure, I understand the formula, but I'm not going to sit here and say you're better than a team that's constantly in the AFC Championship conversation. I'm not saying that.
They're better than the Baltimore Ravens if Aaron Rodgers is their starting quarterback. He's a better quarterback than Lamar is. He's certainly a better quarterback in the postseason than Lamar is. They have, in my opinion, better weapons. They're not going to drop their tight end's not going to drop a pass at the goal line. Their tight end's not fat and refusing to block in the Super Bowl. And I think
I don't know.
This is the Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels argument.
Right.
Oh, Jaden. Did you see Jaden Daniels? What a quarterback. I mean, I cannot believe the numbers he put up. The performances, the throws, just the unbelievableness of Linguini Noodle, Jaden Daniels. Hey, you guys know Caleb Williams had the exact same numbers pretty much as Jaden Daniels. No, he's a bust. He's done as a quarterback. He's out of the league. But wait, Jaden put up the same numbers and Caleb put up the same numbers, but Jaden's a Hall of Famer and Caleb's a bust. Well, he wears fingernail polish. Okay, that makes sense. I get it now. He wears fingernail polish and he likes his mom's bosom, so he's a bust. Aaron Rodgers. What does everybody say? Oh, he's hurt. He played 17 games last year. No, he didn't. Okay. Aaron Rodgers in a shitty situation played really good football last year. The dark hole stuff, I totally agree. Hey, I'm going to wait. I have to consider. I have to think. I have to get inside my butthole and think about rectus maximus. Totally understand. You've got to core D yourself until you come to a decision. Totally get it. But I'm not willing to wait for you. However, if you sign with Pittsburgh, you're winning a Super Bowl, or you're going to have a chance to win a Super Bowl, is what I should say.
Yeah, I guess I don't even disagree with your point. I guess I just don't have the same level of faith and confidence that it will just simply work. It should work. It makes sense as to why it would work, but I'm kind of more in the camp of believe it when I see it in this situation.
Better year last year, Brock Purdy or Aaron Rodgers? You guys know the answer to all these. Brock Purdy or Aaron Rodgers? Kyler Murray, Matthew Stafford. Better year, Josh Allen or Aaron Rodgers, statistically?
Well, obviously you would lean Josh Allen, but I'm assuming Aaron Rodgers had a better year.
Go ahead, say it.
He's not better than Josh Allen.
I didn't say he was better than Josh. I didn't say he was better than Josh Allen. What I said was, on paper, he had a better year than Josh Allen had.
Well, what did Josh Allen do?
Josh Allen threw for 63.6% completion, 3,700 yards, 28 scores. Aaron Rodgers, 63%, 3,897 yards, 28 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Fuck. That sounds like... Wait, Josh, MVP... Interesting. Aaron Rodgers sucks. He should retire. I mean, the guy's terrible.
Bro, you can't...
Josh Allen, MVP. Aaron Rodgers coring out his butthole in a dark hole. Okay. Hey, listen, I don't know anything about football.
The composition of the numbers matters.
The composition of the football team matters. Aaron Rodgers showed you last year he can still play at a really high level. That's all I'm saying. Is the guy an amazing human? No. Is Aaron Rodgers a drama queen? Yes.
Aaron Rodgers is part of the reason that the situation was crap.
Because he got hurt. It was terrible. Bobby Saleh was not a good head coach. He didn't have an offensive line. They had terrible offensive coordinators, partly his fault.
Well, but hold on. Aaron had his guy.
I just said partially his fault. But my point is, a year later, when he's healthy and he's back on the field and certain people, and I don't want to point anybody out or name names at all. I'm not trying to out anybody. But when you say that Aaron Rodgers isn't mobile, and then, okay, listen, I understand. Aaron's done. He sucks. But he had a better year than Tua. He had a far better year, statistically speaking, than Jalen Hurts. He had a better year than Jordan Love and Kirk Cousins and the great Jaden Daniels. Oh, my God. Future Hall of Famer, greatest quarterback who's ever taken a dump, Jaden Daniels. I don't know how it's possible. Aaron Rodgers had a better statistical year. So everybody's saying he sucks and he should retire. I know you're right. I don't know anything about football. If Aaron Rodgers signs with the Steelers, that's a Super Bowl contender. Because he'll throw for 4,500 yards in that offense.
Mm-hmm.
Arthur Smith can't lead a football team, but dude can build an offense. He'll throw for 4,500 yards. He'll throw for 30 touchdowns. And he's not going to be the reason they lose unless he gets hurt. Just saying.
I don't know how you have the confidence that it will work, like, from a personnel standpoint. Like, the guy is a cancer. We know this about him. We know that he is not good.
What makes you say he's a cancer?
Because there is always an issue on Aaron Rodgers' teams. First, it was Fathead's fault. Now it's Bobby Saleh's fault. Now Nathaniel
he gets
Hackett
coaches fired. He
like,
gets coaches fired. There's no doubt about that.
So again, you're sitting here making an argument that, well, he had a better year than all these guys. Then why didn't they win more? Why didn't they win more?
Really?
Really? Why didn't?
Who's got a better defense? The Jets or the Buffalo Bills? Who's got a better offensive line? Who's got
But that doesn't matter. He had the same numbers.
Right. Which my point is, it wasn't his fault. The Jets were bad. It wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
And when you look at Philadelphia, for instance, that offense is completely tailored to Jalen Hurts, and they have the best wide receiver core in the league last year, and their defense was dominant up front, and then they went and got more defense to win the Super Bowl. Did the Jets do that? No. No, they didn't. They had chemistry problems in place, and then Aaron Rodgers showed up, and I would agree, him getting hurt and then not being able to perform absolutely decimated that team. No question about it. But let's just make something very clear. Aaron Rodgers can still play this game better than most quarterbacks in this league. And I'm happy to die on this hill, bros. I'm happy to say Aaron Rodgers, I just don't know how you look at his numbers and how you look at his film. And you look at the way he played last year and be like, yeah, that dude should retire. You just don't like him personally, and which is fine. I don't love the guy personally. As the owner of the Chicago Bears, I wish he would spend more money.
Yeah, I think that
I own the Bears. Okay.
Aaron Rodgers hasn't been. Go back to when he was a Packer. Everyone said, "Oh, Super Bowl contender, Super Bowl team. They should go far." Couldn't get it done. Like, the guy hasn't been able, like, in the postseason, right? Mm-hmm. Big game postseason. Aaron Rodgers hasn't been able to get it done.
He hasn't won Super Bowl.
Well, how long ago? How many chances has he had to
12 years ago
to get to the Super Bowl and hasn't been able to get it done? Like we sit here and we say, okay, well, he had great stats last year. Like, he can still play. Like, okay. So what are we going to do, 5 weeks into the season when inevitably there's going to be drama and someone's unhappy and the talking line isn't that him and DK are on the same page. The talking line is, hey, him and DK are not on the same page and the routes are not correct. And I don't know. You just have a lot of faith in this guy, and I don't. He's going to have to prove that he can make it work with coming into a new locker room, and he can gain everyone's respect, and he can get it done when it actually matters. Because that's the other thing that you can't get away from with the Jets. He may have put up numbers with the Jets last season. All those games were meaningless. They were not playing for anything.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
At some point, he's got to prove it.
The Jets had terrible chemistry and a terrible organization. You put that cat with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Cam Hayward embodies the Pittsburgh Steelers.
He does.
Do you want to play here? Okay, great. Let's do it. If you don't, suck it.
And I do
Enjoy
think the way they
Giants.
handle it, the way the organization handles it, and this is what's to be telling about the situation, the way they handle it will tell you everything you need to know about this dynamic between the two. If they sit around and wait for him and, kneel down and kiss his feet in this situation, then it's not going to work out for them.
And and the thing that I want to make sure before we get into the comment section, because I'm going to assume I'm getting my ass beat in the comment section, which is fine. Aaron Rodgers can't be the reason you're a Super Bowl team. Right? Josh Allen, here's the difference when we get off of stats and we talk about real world scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen isn't good enough to carry a team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and we've seen that play out year after year.
Lamar Jackson's not good enough to carry a team to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers isn't good enough anymore to carry a team to a Super Bowl. He once was, and he won one and he lost one. And he's lost repeatedly at home in big games. Okay, great. Aaron Rodgers can't be the reason you're going to the Super Bowl. But if Aaron Rodgers, I don't know, like let's say the Pittsburgh Steelers, is the cherry on top of the Super Bowl Sunday, you're in a really good place.
Yeah.
That's what Aaron Rodgers is in Pittsburgh. He's not the reason they'll go to the Super Bowl.
I'm curious if this happens, if he becomes a Steeler, will Aaron Rodgers be the guy that understands finally, hey, I need to come in here and get out of the way in a sense. Come in here, like form relationships, do my job, don't make a problem. Like it's kind of like the Kyrie Irving thing when he went to Dallas, right? Kyrie Irving had all these problems in Boston. He had all these off the field issues, and then he goes to Dallas and he's just been silent. Hey, I'm grateful to be playing basketball, doing my job, helping my team. And we haven't heard word one in a negative way from Kyrie Irving. Like, that's what Aaron needs to do here.
Absolutely right.
Go in, don't be a problem, stay healthy, and put up the kind of numbers that I would agree he's capable of. And
he's got to be part of a formula. He can't be, Aaron Rodgers isn't the guy. Like Patrick Mahomes, everything's built around Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City.
Right.
He's the reason they win and lose games. Great.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is no longer that guy. And arguably never was. Okay, great. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
But if you have a system where you have good skill players, because I think one of the biggest problems the Jets had last year is they did not drive the ball down the field.
Mm-hmm.
Their offensive line, when you look at snap for snap, if you just look at general offensive line rankings, I would assume that the Jets would have a top 8 offensive line. But when you get into their offense, and I could be wrong about this, I think he had a career low yards per attempt last year, like under 6.5, right around 6.5, because that offense isn't set up to drive the ball down the field. Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback, has to have a running back to catch the ball, a tight end to catch the ball, and he needs to have somebody that can go get the football. And in my opinion, with the Jets, you just didn't have a stud receiver.
Right.
And to me, Pittsburgh's got all the makings. You need a quarterback of Aaron Rodgers' skill set. He's not the guy in Pittsburgh. That's not his team. That's not his franchise. He would be walking into Pittsburgh as the cherry on top of a Super Bowl Sunday, the final digit in the Super Bowl equation. And I think that's exactly why Pittsburgh should sign him. Aaron Rodgers, if the Giants are your only option, retire. You're too good to go play for the New York Giants. You're too good to go play for the Cleveland Browns. You need to be in a place where you can win a Super Bowl, and Pittsburgh's the only place.
You're too good to be playing just to be playing. Like,
Aaron Rodgers had multiple opportunities to lead the Jets back in the fourth quarter, despite their issues, and just couldn't deliver. I didn't miss 1 minute because I'm a glutton for punishment. Well, I also think let's look at the Jets last year, and let's be really, really. If we just take If we just take the overtime loss at Miami, okay, if that's what we do, if you look at Aaron Rodgers in that game, 339 a touchdown, 105 rating, 76 for a QBR. They ran for 83 yards in that game total.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Garrett Wilson had 7 for 114. Devontae Adams 9 for 109 and a touchdown. And then nobody else had more than 4 catches in that game. His 27 completions went for 319 yards, 8.7. So what that's telling you is that when you look at the way that they lost that game, is Aaron Rodgers at fault for that? I would say no. Now, if we go to, because they lost a lot of games late they should have won.
Right.
Like the Rams game, which I vividly remember. If you look at the Rams game, Aaron Rodgers, 28 of 42, averaged 6 yards per completion, a touchdown. Rated 91 on a 38 QBR. That's a bad performance. It's a bad performance. But again, they only ran for 75 yards. And nobody had more than 68 yards receiving in that game. And they averaged 9.1 yards per catch as a receiver group. Aaron, 6.1 yards per completion.
Yeah, I think the problem is like in this particular situation, you just don't have a lot of other options. You know, like you can look at these game logs and, you know, you can understand that, yeah, sure, like Aaron Rodgers is a human being. I'm willing to give him that leash. Like, hey, you're going to have bad games. You're going to have great games. Like, players go through that. I don't have a problem with that. But I don't like what really bothers me about the Aaron stuff is we just like to say, hey, you put this guy on this team and they've got a great defense and he's got some more options and they should be a Super Bowl caliber team.
No.
And that's what I struggle with.
Because clearly then, have you looked at the build of their roster?
Yeah, I know that they're a good team, man. I understand that they have talent. The DK acquisition was really good. Their defense is really good.
Their defense gets off the field. Their problem last year in Pittsburgh was Russ could not convert.
Yeah.
So their defense would wind up back on the field. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have that problem. The reason that Aaron Rodgers is a good fit there is because he does not grip on 3rd and 8. He does not grip in my opinion, in the regular season. The postseason, I agree. You want to rip Aaron Rodgers for postseason stuff? Please do.
Yeah.
You can't get to the Super Bowl unless you win in the regular season. And again, that team is not built on Aaron Rodgers. He will not be the reason they go to the Super Bowl.
And I agree with that. I agree with that they have, like I said, I've said it a couple times, they have talent. They've got a good setup. Like I said, we just disagree on the guy. You're confident in him. I'm not.
You're more worried about him. Like, I love all these people who are like, oh, he's going to come in and tear that team's chemistry apart. When has he ever done that? He didn't do that with the Jets. I got bad news for you. He did not do that for the Jets.
So what did he do with the Jets then?
I think the single biggest issue is he got hurt on the first drive of the season. He was out for the year. But what did we see? What Aaron Rodgers around the team, like that. I think the Jets are just a terribly dysfunctional organization. And will Justin Fields succeed there? I have no idea.
Knows? Probably not.
I have
honestly,
no idea.
Who knows?
But you hired a really qualified head coach, and let's see what happens. I don't know that. Yeah, I don't know. I think the Jets. This is the other thing you got to remember, this is make or break for Aaron Rodgers' legacy.
Which matters.
You win 2 Super Bowls, you are forever a legend. You win one 15 years ago, and then you never show up again, you were a one-hit wonder. You get multiple coaches fired, you go to the Jets, you flame, and then you retire. You're not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Hey,
I'll
really
tell you
don't
that
think
right.
He is?
Not if he retires right now, he is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think it would be very difficult.
Man, that would be fascinating to see.
You think if he retires
he's got numbers.
today,
He definitely has numbers.
If Aaron Rodgers retires today, is he a first ballot Hall of Famer? Man, I don't think he is. But we'll see. He's drama. He's drama. Is he really worth shattering your team? But when has he gone and shattered somebody's team chemistry? He's only been on 2 teams. Right? Was he a diva in Green Bay? Yes. Yes, he was. And at the end, was it good? At the end, it wasn't. But I think that's been a two-sided story. It is what he's never gone anywhere and ripped a team apart.
Listen, the thing with the Jets, I think that, for me, like the reason I feel Aaron Rodgers was, I think saying he ripped the Jets apart is pretty strong. But what I will say is things I think about with Aaron and the Jets. I think about, hey, I'm going to come back in 4 months from tearing my Achilles completely, and hey, I like Aaron
putting himself up as a savior.
Yeah, is putting himself up as a savior, is even when you're hurt and you were never going to play 2 seasons ago after you had the injury. You were never coming back from that in the same season. Always putting yourself in the middle of the conversation. Always got to be the poster child of the organization. Oh, there's people like, I'm just telling you, man. I understand why you disagree. He didn't rip the Jets apart, but there's no question that if you sign Aaron Rodgers, whether you're the Steelers or whatever organization, you understand that there is inherent risk that could flame in a big way for your organization over the course of that contract. And that's what when people say things like, "Hey, rip the Jets apart," I think that's more what people mean is that there's a very high chance that there's going to be big time drama, media issues. And again, I have to point out, like I did the other day, the Steelers have dealt with stuff like this before. This would not be their first rodeo,
which is why
dealing with a player like this.
Antonio Brown,
Le'Veon Bell,
and what did they do with those two?
Yeah.
Ran them out.
Yeah.
RF says 12 years ago, I was 8. Right. But when we're talking about somebody's legacy and their resume.
Yeah.
He's got a Super Bowl, and he was the reason they won that Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'd really have to look at his numbers, and because obviously he's got huge passing numbers. There's no question.
Yes,
but I would really need to see, how many passing yards does he have for his career?
62,952.
It's a huge number, bro.
116 touchdowns, 93 interceptions, which is a lot. But again, I will also tell you, he's sacked 40 times last year. He's been sacked 571 times in his career. He's a career. This is the other thing, bro. He's rated 102.6 in his career.
Yeah.
The guy can play the game. He can play the game. There's no question about it. But when you have 0 passing yards in your debut season with the Jets, that's probably not what you had in mind.
And again, it wouldn't have been an issue. Him getting hurt wasn't the core issue. Guys get hurt. It happens. You understand it, bro. That's him tearing the Achilles is not necessarily the issue. I just think it's how we went about the whole thing.
I would agree with that. I 100% agree with. The ayahuasca stuff, the dark room stuff, people, you're going to hold that against him, and I'm fine with that. Well, you also have to realize that it takes some time to develop chemistry. True. You can't just plug in guys and expect immediate top-tier success. It will take several games to develop. But this is why he's got to come in before OTAs.
Yeah, this is why they need to get this done and get moving here.
Yes. RF. If Aaron Rodgers goes to the Steelers, they're a Super Bowl contender. Aaron can't be the reason you're going to the Super Bowl. What are you confused about? How is that at all confusing? Both of these can be true. That's exactly right. Garrett Wilson's an absolute stud receiver, but now here's the question. And I think this is a fascinating conversation. I'm guessing, Rock, you're a Jets fan. Garrett Wilson has not been a consistent performer. And I don't think he's hit his top end, right?
Why though?
And that's a question. He has not had an elite quarterback. So if you look at Aaron Wilson, if you look at Aaron Rodgers and you start looking at Garrett Wilson, is Garrett Wilson, who last year had 101 catches, 1,100 yards, and only 7 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Only 7 touchdowns. Is that Aaron Wilson's fault? God damn it. Is that Aaron Rodgers' fault or Garrett Wilson's fault? Some of it, and this has been, I think, widely talked about, Garrett Wilson has to be a better professional and a better route runner and a better want-to guy. But in a bad year where he had a washed-up quarterback, Garrett Wilson had 1,104 receiving yards.
Well, I think the other point is that he got shuffled down the stack. Like, you brought Devontae in, you brought Lazard in.
I think there's some of that, but he still, there's no doubt, was their number one guy. I mean, Devontae Adams only played 11 games, had 67 receptions. Garrett played 17 and had 101. He was their unquestioned number one. Lazard was a non-factor for that team.
Mm-hmm.
He was hurt.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson can play the game of football.
Yeah.
The question is, again, Garrett Wilson and Justin Fields.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess that Garrett's going to have a backslide this year because he's going to be the number one there, and he's not going to have a lot of number two. So he got his boy Adams there, but if the offense didn't move, that's on him too, because he was the one who brought in the OC. Absolutely. Nathaniel Hackett was a disaster.
I do think that Aaron also, it goes without saying that, there is no middle ground on Aaron Rodgers. You either are not an Aaron Rodgers guy or you are, and you think it'll work or you don't. And like I said, that's where I think that if Aaron Rodgers chooses the Steelers or the Steelers choose him, Aaron's got to go in there and be pliable for this to work.
I don't understand why this is confusing, that Aaron Rodgers makes you a Super Bowl contender, but he's not the reason you will be a Super Bowl contender. Show me the team that had Mason Rudolph caliber quarterback and won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, there's not one. You have to have a pocket passing, deliver the football quarterback.
You have to have a quarterback who can stand in the pocket and deliver the ball down the field to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Since day one to yesterday of the history of the NFL,
100%.
Every team's had a guy who could deliver the football, Trent Dilfer included.
Yeah.
The guys who can't deliver the football, Lamar Jackson, don't win Super Bowls. If Aaron Rodgers goes to Pittsburgh, they're better than Baltimore. If Aaron Rodgers goes to Pittsburgh, who are they not better than offensively? Cincinnati, but Cincinnati doesn't have a defense.
And does Cincinnati stay healthy?
So I just don't think it's that controversial of a take to say that. Rock and Rant, I agree. You take Rodgers over Wilson. I'm only debating the ceiling for that move. And I think that's a great point. I truly do. So with that argument, is Drew Brees a one-hit wonder? I think it hurts Drew Brees in the greatest quarterback of all time conversation. He's got gaudy numbers.
Yeah.
But how many Super Bowls? Why was it important for Peyton to go to Denver and win that second Super Bowl? Critical on his legacy, right? Aaron Rodgers. The problem with Aaron Rodgers versus Drew Brees is universally respected and loved.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is universally unrespected, disrespected, and hated. And he doesn't like the media, and he calls the media stupid. You get in a first ballot if you don't win another Super Bowl. I'm guessing you won't.
It's a fair question. It's a fair question.
Yeah, and both teams ran him out of town. Yeah, I don't think Green Bay ran Aaron Rodgers out of town.
Yeah, I would disagree. Yeah, I don't think Green Bay ran him out of town. Yeah, I think
if the Steelers don't get Rodgers and have to choose among free agents, they should go with Winston because he'll push the ball even though there's a 50-50 chance it goes to the other team.
Well, look, I think that conversation, we probably shouldn't even have that conversation until we get a definitive answer on Aaron.
Ooh. Brandon Butler, A-Rod's ego writes checks he can't cash. I think there's some of that. Boyd Lake, the Jets O-line was a stinker for most of the time. They woke up and did some things about it way too late. The O-line just isn't sexy enough for the Jets org to be bothered.
I mean, I don't disagree. Part of the issue for the Jets is the Jets themselves. There's no doubt about that. They're not a good organization.
Gigaddy. Good morning, Giggity. Maybe if Aaron showed up to OTAs, there could have been more chemistry with Garrett
Agreed.
Wilson. You're not wrong.
Agreed.
The issue with A-Rod brings a lot of spotlight to organizations that don't like that spotlight, and Pittsburgh certainly is one of those. Again, if he goes to Pittsburgh, can Aaron Rodgers do the Pat McAfee show every week? And I think the answer is no.
And I don't have a problem with Pittsburgh asking him to not do that.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
Neither do I. Boyd Lake, Lazard was a mistake. Conklin has wildly underperformed. Alan Lazard was that whole thing was.
See, again, that's another thing though, right? The Rodgers, Rossini, she's wrong and lying or whatever he said.
I'm immunized. They're too stupid.
And then I'm immunized. Like it just, I don't disagree with you that he can go in there and perform and help them win a Super Bowl, but I just can't get over the hump on the drama. It's really hard for me to just not, feel like that for some reason that wouldn't happen with the Steelers. That's really difficult for me.
I think it's a fascinating conversation. The fact we're sitting here arguing over Aaron Rodgers tells
it's the very essence of Aaron Rodgers.
Totally agree.
Yeah, it's the very essence of the issue.
Totally agree. I get to catch a morning show live. Well, good to see you, John Evans. We appreciate you being here in Dallas County.
Hit the like button.
Please do. Mike Smith, all this Aaron talk is making me sleepy. Okay, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. TJ Beck, Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl and he's one of the all-time greats. Jake, do you put Aaron Rodgers in the Hall of Fame first ballot?
I mean, right now I probably do. I think, like I said, you'd have to do obviously I'd have to do a comparison. You'd have to look at, I'd want to see how his numbers stack up against like TB12, and I'd want to see how his numbers stack up against Drew Brees. And you have to compare case by case. But yeah, for me, when I hear Aaron Rodgers, I do think he's a Hall of Famer. I do. As much as
first
that pains
ballot.
me. Yeah, I do. I think that the guy was the best quarterback in the league for how many years?
Yeah.
Dominated and I don't even know how many MVPs he's got now. I'd have to look. I think it's like 4. I think he's got or something like that. There's no question the guy is one of the best quarterbacks the league has had. It's just a question of how do his numbers stack up, against his peers. I do think he gets into the Hall of Fame. I also agree. If you win another Super Bowl, you're a no doubt about it guy. You're no doubt about it.
He's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the best players in the history of the NFL.
Yeah.
But
first ballot is the question.
There is always a grudge.
Yeah.
I mean, the numbers, the guy has won a Super Bowl and an MVP, 4-time regular season MVP.
Yeah.
4-time All-Pro. 10-time Pro Bowler, 4-time passer rating lead. The guy he has not been the best quarterback in the NFL since 2021.
Yeah.
And we're 5 seasons removed from that now. And he's going to have to prove he can still be that guy. And I think that's the biggest question.
And I also think, too, that division is really difficult. Like, you can
it is
say,
very difficult.
Obviously adding Aaron Rodgers, likely puts the Steelers over the top on the Ravens, but we all know how those games go. Those games are incredibly unpredictable. You have no idea. Like, I remember talking about it, this past season on the show. Like, we remember that Steelers-Ravens game where we all thought that the Ravens would just ride Derrick Henry and then they didn't give it to him, but like 8 times or what. Like, we have no idea how these games go.
But is it possible they could ride the D? I think it's possible.
It is very possible.
Is it possible that they could ride the D?
Yeah.
But this question right here about Will Levis, Eric, I think is a very good one because I don't think there's any doubt. I don't think there's any doubt that he dead last in the NFL in QBR last year, Will Levis.
Yep.
I don't know that they're going to draft Cam Ward. If they stay at number 1, they're drafting Cam Ward. I think where
are the Steelers picking again? Where are they at?
Bottom 24th? The Pittsburgh 21st.
Okay, 21st in the draft. You're sitting here trying to figure this out with Aaron Rodgers.
They're going defense.
And, well, yeah, of course. But like, if you're 21st in the draft and you don't get Aaron Rodgers, you're either going to swing a trade of some variety to go and get a QB, or I guess you're just going to get, you're going to get someone off the street, I guess. I don't know. Like, that's the problem here.
I don't know.
So like, yeah, I agree. This is a defensive organization. You're going defense in the draft as you always do, which is fine. But what you can't do is invest in DK like that. Have DK and Pickens and then not have a quarterback who can deliver.
Yep. Jeremy Bolton, good morning. Good to see you, my friend. Chewy Gonzalez. What about Rodgers to New England? Well, they have a stud at quarterback, so
yeah,
I don't know why they would do that, but I think Drake May's a stud. I don't, and I think if you go back to the top of this draft, that's one of the more interesting spots. If they get Travis Hunter, and you've seen what you've seen,
yeah, how do you not?
I like,
and I want to say, didn't Travis Hunter say he was wide receiver first, then he would play corner?
And you put
I think
you put Travis Hunter with Drake May.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how that's not an unequivocal win. That would be amazing. Steely, have a good day. Jake and Monty. Steely, have a
Jake
good day.
and Morty.
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 Hey, Morty.
Hey, Morty.
TJ Beck. Are we thinking Aaron Rodgers is like Trent Dilfer now? Game manager. He's not a game manager.
No, he's not a game manager. But
No.
but again, and that's the other thing that needs to be pointed out here is that the expectations are really high. We wouldn't give a damn about this if we were just sitting here talking about a mediocre dude.
We were sitting in the studio before the show. Was that today or was that yesterday? The UFL has a dynasty.
Yesterday.
Shut up. Maybe you can go to the UFL. Aaron to the BC Lions. I'm calling it that. Right. I think it's very interesting. And then there's Jamar Chase. Do you guys like the Bengals signing Jamar Chase to the largest non-quarterback contract in the NFL?
Yeah, I think that if you didn't, you're not only risking obviously losing Jamar, but then also upsetting Joe. And you can't have that. Like Joe Burrow's your guy.
Who?
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
He's your guy. Like you gotta get his boys taken care of.
Burrow.
Like, it just is what it is.
They're got T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Will be together for a long time. And I think it's interesting hearing Jamar Chase talk about why he went back to Cincinnati.
For me, I like Cincinnati because it gives me the opportunity to come here and focus. You know, I'm not distracted out here. It's not too many things to get me, off pace out here, and it's strictly what I'm focused on. That's really tunnel vision for me to play football. So, I mean, at the end of the day, the food's not the best. We could work on that, but I'm from New Orleans. I'm not used to the food yet, but.
Salt Lake City is a foodie town, bro. Shut up. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No.
And I love that Jamar was like, yeah, Skyline chili my ass.
Because it's garbage.
Food here sucks. Dude, I like it. He doesn't want to be a fatty McFatterson.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, go to Cincinnati. You're not going to want to go out to eat. Right? Stay at home, play some bids, eat some Tostinos. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's a good signing. I think, Jamar is one of the best wide receivers in the league, and in some years is the best wide receiver in the league.
Yep. Brandon Butler, my dude needs to go to the Saskatchewan Rough Riders, Mayor. There you go.
Right.
There you go. Maury Alvarez, I'm done with Mr. Quote, I've been vaccinated. No, I've been immunized.
Yeah, they didn't know what immunized meant.
Yeah, I've been immunized.
Yeah, the media is too lazy and dumb to go and figure it out.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks, that's what it is.
So you guys know do you know what immunized means? It basically means he took a bunch of junk and then can't have vaccines and stuff. I would like to also confess I just got a vaccine 2 days ago. I got another COVID shot or a microchip.
Dude,
Sorry, my bad.
You're such a sheep, dude.
My bad. As a sheep,
are such a sheep.
I got another
coronavirus.
I got another microchip injected into my arm. Not dead.
You didn't want bleach in your butthole, dude? I mean,
not
come
dead.
on,
I
dude.
did. They wouldn't do it. They would. Carly over at the CVS wouldn't do it.
Whatever, dude.
I asked her. I said, "Hey, I got a UV light bulb right here. You're going to Rectus Maximus this
Everybody
thing? Or what
gets
are we
a
doing?
test.
What are we doing?" So she said, "No, but I'll put a microchip in your arm." I was like, "All right,
Physiologically, it's a non-starter.
I'm down." Great chili in Seatown. I'll take your word for it. Get me some gumbo. Okay. James Larden, Tua, and Zion don't have any food from any city.
That's right.
Did you guys see James Harden last night? Well, he was delivering the D to me on Prize Picks. He did Evan Mobley dirty. And if you haven't seen the highlight, the stop and go that Fat Ass put on Evan Mobley was
tough.
The stuff of legends. The stuff of legends. TJ Beck. Jamar should have Sam Whitestit. I live in Cincinnati, not Cleveland. That would have been classic drop and more accurate. Okay. Eric Wasikowski, how many you got now? 17? I have no idea. Oh, don't hate any food from their cities. No, that's very true. Although I got to tell you, Fat Ass is playing really good basketball.
That
right
was
now.
a good win for them.
No, I meant Zion Williamson.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
I should have.
Yeah, you got to delineate,
which fat ass we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
Zion's playing good ball. They're not good. Trey Murphy's out for the year. So they're done. They've been done. Lakers Nugs tonight in a big one.
Yeah.
Dalton Kinect,
DK4.
I just think it's interesting that we put so much into food.
Mm-hmm. Matters, dude.
What do you like when you look at food?
Uh-huh.
Like, we're talking about what we're going to do for New Year's. So we're going to Paris for New Year's.
Uh-huh.
For Christmas, rather. Mrs. Monty and I were looking at options for the week of New Year's.
Right.
Because we take the last 2 weeks of the year off, don't work, travel, great. This will be the first year that I'm not playing golf in several years. Not going to Hawaii. We're going to Paris for Christmas.
Yeah.
And then I think we're just going to stay in mainland Europe. We were going to go to Miami, but the flights are outrageous. It would have been like a $12,000 flight package.
Jesus.
Not doing that. Okay, let's try Washington, D.C. And it'd be cold, but you're just hopping in and out of monuments and museums. And
it's cool. It's D.C.,
$10,000. All right, why don't we just stay in Europe? We can either train down to Spain. We can go to Brussels, Antwerp. So I think that's what we're going to do. It's the wrong time of year to go to like Normandy and the beaches from World War II. But
yeah,
I think we're going to stay in Europe and just train around mainland Europe and spend the week of New Year's kind of hopscotching.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, when we were talking about Italy, was stupid expensive. Like $18,000 for airfare
to get back to the mainland.
To go from Salt Lake, Paris, Rome, and I think we were looking at like New York, Philadelphia, Charlotte,
right,
to Salt Lake City. If we just go Salt Lake City to Paris nonstop, train around Europe, back to Paris, Charles de Gaulle, Paris to Salt Lake City nonstop for like $6,000.
Yeah.
It's like well under half.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous how expensive airfare is, but I love it, man. I'm a huge fan, but I'm excited for I love the food. And like, I haven't been to a lot of places in Europe. This will be my first time in Paris, Brussels, Antwerp, probably. But the food in London was amazing. The food in Ireland was amazing.
Did you see, it's funny we're talking about Europe. There was a study that came out, or like a story that came out about London's real estate market being as strong as it's been in like some time.
So expensive.
And I know what it was. It was in London for the first time ever, more folks from India own real estate in London because of how strong the rental market is than people like British folks do.
Okay.
In London, and London's apparently just thriving real estate, and I just thought that was fascinating that people are now looking at London as like this market that can be, like one of the best ones in Europe to live in for like a decade at a time.
Yeah, I think I love Europe. I absolutely love the history of it. I love the feel of it. I like going to places that I've never been and just being impacted by it.
Mm-hmm.
Being impacted by the atmosphere, the people, the architecture, putting your eyes on the Champs-Élysées or the Eiffel Tower,
mm-hmm.
or like I remember the first time I ever saw the Statue of Liberty, the Arch in St. Louis, like stuff like that. I think it's important to spend your life being impacted by things that you're not comfortable with. And I think certainly when you get into Europe, I think it's huge. And I'm super excited for that trip. But food is playing a huge part of that.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the food there. No doubt about it. I cannot wait. John Dry, hi, y'all. Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Just got off work. The town next to me is on fire again. John, where are you? Are you in Oklahoma? Tell me where you're at. Is Bullock coming with you? You're going to need the protection.
Stop.
No, Jeremy, I'm not playing your stupid games. Shuey Gonzalez. Well, how the tables have turned in London. India owns UK housing market. Well, you're not wrong. You are not wrong about that. Certainly you are not wrong about that. Been to Paris, TJ says. When you are there, go to region of Champagne. Mama will love you for it. Hit Switzerland next, see the Alps, scoot through Austria, and then to Munich. I want to go to Germany. And then home. Yeah, I want to go to Germany bad. Bad. French Bee isn't a bad airline or out of San Francisco or New York. It has Spirit airline prices to France. Well, I already booked. I'm a Delta guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will tell you exactly what the Delta app is trying to do to me.
Well, you want to upgrade to Delta One, Monty?
Exactly right.
That's all they're trying to do, bro.
Do you want to upgrade to Delta One?
Yeah.
And I have to tell you that it's 274 days until check-in, right? And they are already offering me for $4,200 to upgrade.
Bruh.
Nah, bro.
It's so much.
I'm not doing it.
So much.
I am not doing it. On the Texas Panhandle, just north of Amarillo, I live in Fritch, the town of Borger. That's on fire. I and HR in an hour and a half, 1.5 hours from Oklahoma. Yeah, there are so many fires in Texas and Oklahoma right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. TJ Beck, how in the heck with all the Delta drops are they not sponsoring you, bud? Just saying. I talk about Delta all the time because that's all I fly. When you live in Salt Lake City, you either fly Delta or you have to fly to Boise to get to the other terminal at Salt Lake City Airport. So, allow Delta employees to unionize and then I'll upgrade. Well, I know.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that. Is Chipotle on Delta? Bro.
Oh, boy. Are we back on the Chipotle grind? Yes.
I'm not off of it. No, and I haven't had Chipotle. Today is Wednesday. I weigh in every Wednesday. You guys know for about a week now, we've been food diarying. We've been tracking our food.
Right.
Down 6 pounds. Mrs. Monty, down 6 pounds. I like it. I'm telling you, if you're not tracking your food in a diary, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
The Monty Show presented by The Advocates at theadvocates.com. Don't forget, we're off Friday and Monday. Back tomorrow morning one more time. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.